and then he's looking down at the river. Thankfully, wing reinflates very rapidly, and he's back on course with a turn to the right. Now at this point, I think he decides that it's time to call it quits. Conditions are not good at all, and he comes in for a landing just straight down the riverbed. It's not the most graceful landing, but in a situation like this, I would take it.
So I just landed after that. I don't even know what to call that. That was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. I mean, the wind wasn't that bad. I knew Windy had called for up to 10, 11 mile an hour gusts, but average was 6 and 7. But these mountains up here must just be throwing some crazy wind down here.
Now, if you take a look while he's doing this debrief, he shows his windsock once again, and still, it looks like the winds are coming from that hill. What happens is, as the air comes over that hill, it breaks apart and starts to turn into rotor, and rotor and paramotors do not mix. Rotor is essentially really turbulent air. It's air that's swirling and tumbling, and it's not smooth to fly in, and it can cause collapses exactly like you saw in this video. The other thing to note is not only the direction, but if you take a look at the bushes in the background, you can see that those bushes on the river are kind of bending over. First off, at the end here, he says Windy was calling for 6 to 7 mile per hour winds, up to 10 and 11 mile per hour gusts, and he says that he doesn't think that's a lot of wind. And that's true, that's not a lot of wind, but it's also dependent upon the site you're flying. Like I mentioned, if you had that forecast in Florida, it would probably be totally fine. With 10 to 11 mile per hour gusts at the specific site, I would probably stay on the ground myself. The second problem arises when he lets his trimmers out. Like I mentioned, not only does this distract him and take his focus away from actively piloting, which is essential and should be kind of #1 priority when you're getting in bad rotor like this, but also the combination of trimming out and actively piloting is generally considered not a good combination for turbulent situations like this. In general, when you look at reflex paramotor wings, a lot of them state that when you get in turbulent conditions, if you let the trimmers out, that will increase the collapse resistance of the wing. And that's true up until a certain point. What happens is you increase the collapse resistance, so it takes more to collapse your wing, but if it does collapse at that point, it's going to